much just looking at some crazy ass markets to say the least. Big gap down overnight. Following it's all the news. It's crazy. You too. I'm pretty much hands off. I mean, yeah, I think the bias, if anything, just based on how crazy everything's been, I don't want to necessarily short because the further we get down, well, I mean, we're approaching like limit down areas. So, do you really want to trade into that? Not really. Not really. I don't really want to touch any of this. I think a lot of people have a lot of pent up emotion right now. So, things like that can be a very good indication that it's a good time to do less. There's no benefit to just rushing into a trade. I do think it will pop higher. So we'll see how it respects VWAP and prior day low. Those are upside levels that I have. I do think you'll get an opening drive here. Just kind of essentially going to close that RTH gap. You can look at that as well. So one thing I did today, first thing I do when I look at the market today, literally about an hour ago, I just lock it out for at least an hour because I don't want to trade immediately at the open. Does that mean I might miss some opportunity? Sure, that might mean that. But I'm also committing to the idea that I don't want to rush into a trade. I'm not even certain I want to take a trade unless I see something pretty clear. So we'll define some levels and ultimately use that as some sort of barometer for if we want to trade or not. But like when you see this is ES, by the way, and we're talking overnight gap of 200 points. That's insane. That's insane. So we'll mark out a couple levels for ES as well. The one that I see right here. So prior day low, actually. I'll do prior day low. So yeah, we've hit VWAP. It's crazy looking at the 1 minute on a different chart with no RTH gap. It actually looks pretty impressive. But with the RTH gap, it's actually like almost impossible to see. Regular versus RTH. So yeah. Then you have MNQ. This is pretty much at VWAP right here. So again, you're going to have that prior day low again. I'm not in a rush. With something like this, there's no reason to be in a rush. When you see market conditions that are not the norm, why do you need to move quick? Moving quick typically it invites the room for a mistake. So I've never really done well rushing or being like the first one in a trade. For me, it's just I just see this and it says just take some time, let market structure develop, and then go from there. Day before NFP, so we're just going to keep that in mind as well. We don't want to force anything. Day before NFP, typically for my trading, could be a little bit choppier. So it's a day that I'm not super stoked on. I'm never like, oh, I need to trade this. Cool. So we're back above VWAP. We're holding so far. We're approaching prior day low. So it's just a mean reversion trade, right? You get that big RTH gap. You're going to try to fill it to some extent. So this move off the open, it makes sense to me. I just don't really need to trade it. I'm more than happy sitting out and letting some information develop. I'll be looking for a trade tomorrow for sure, but we'll see how this holds up, because if this can create some higher lows, then obviously we can look to engage. There's no rule that says I cannot trade today, so I'm not like, oh no, I can't trade. Like, I can do whatever I want. I'm just choosing to be patient because I simply want to. I want to see what price is going to do. I don't want to be the first one in a trade. Of course, you're going to get the most immediate moves and fastest reactions when you're in early on stuff like this, because obviously there's going to be that opening volatility. But again, I don't let time really dictate what I'm going to do in that sense. Like, I don't need to be the first one in. When you understand why traders fail, it's because they literally cannot sit still and do something like this. So if you build a habit of just being patient, you'll do better than a lot of people in the long run. Even if it's being overly patient. Being overly patient is 20 times better than rushing all of the time. So you're getting a little bit of a pullback to VWAP, kind of. Doesn't look too terribly bullish. We'll see if it holds. I'm looking at the 15 as well, because if that 15 forms like a deeper top wick, then, you know, it won't look that great. Let's see, ES. 15's still young, though. So get a little bit of a hammer right there. An NQ, that'd be a good trade. Yeah. Bro's ready to full port. Top step X won't let me change my contract size for some reason. It might be that they're saying don't trade, you know? Maybe they're not allowing people to trade. Hard to say. But again, it's just a good rule of thumb. When everyone's like, "Oh my god, can I take a trade? Am I able to dude, you guys are losing the plot." Like, it's okay if you can't enter a trade or whatever. There's probably good reason for it. But yeah, I mean, full port right now. Let's do it. I think what I'm getting at, and the kind of sentiment that I have in the chat, it's generally a good idea to not kind of go with the crowd. So if everybody's super like emotional about something, or super worked up about not being able to trade or this or that, just kind of take a step back and look at how insane it is. You're worried about not being able to take a trade when there's clearly not any real setup on the daily. Like, you want to just buy the lowest candle that you've seen in quite some time. Is that what you need to do? Like, do you need to catch the bottom? Is that going to change everything for you? Or is it going to potentially create a lot of chaos? What if it goes wrong, right? I don't look at this daily chart and say, okay, that's like perfect for me. It's it might hold, it might hold, or it might limit down, and then everyone has to go do something with their day. So I personally think it'll kind of just hold around here, but it's not like the craziest trade I've ever seen. Pull back to VWAP looks nice. That's pretty much where we're at right now. See if we form a lower high, though, and kind of go from there. I would like to see this 15-minute candle close decently strong. Then for a move above prior day low. Once we're above prior day low, I'll look to engage. Like, that's where I'll consider doing something. Nice. So that's almost prior day low right there. Almost. We'll see if we can get a candle closure above it. That'd be a decent look. So see the daily candle starting to change. Starting to look a little bit better. Let's get that first 15-minute candle to kind of hold. That'd be nice. So the way I see it right now, if I took that pullback to VWAP right there, I'm more than likely stopped out right now at break even because of that failure to go higher. So I'm not missing anything by avoiding this. People will say, oh, well, it moved higher. It's like, I'm not going to trade the opening candle. I don't need to. It's not really my strategy right now. In different markets, sure, I'll do that. It's just not really what I care to do at this moment. And then if I buy that pullback, that higher low, then that trade completely failed. It would not have hit my target and it would have stopped me out of break even. So that's the benefit of seeing this type of stuff play out enough times to know it's just not high probability. I don't need to trade that. My actions are determined by the quality of setup, not the excitement, not the anxiety of anybody else. It's actually when I see everybody else get frantic that I like to slow down and be a little more methodical. Yeah, setup failing. So how you doing, Mike? You full port yet? I got 44 seconds and I go full port. Look at that 15. It's just folding over so far. Giant top wick. Yeah, same with ES. Yeah, good call. It's like, yeah, you can. With a move like this, yeah, good. Told myself I'll wait till 10. Stick into that. It's the best way to do it. I think it's just better to follow whatever rules, even if they're arbitrary. There's nothing that says we have to do that, but I think it's a good idea. So now you're referencing that initial fair value gap. I think this doesn't look terrible, but 10 a.m.'s not that far. This gives us some information, gives us some structure to work from. So the thing is, if it's going to go higher today, it'll hold this for sure. So this won't be the only entry we get. But if this is as high as it goes, then that'll be the place for us to take a loss. So that's why I don't really love it under this level. Yeah, news, nice. Pull the 5-minute. Does not look like a trade I want to take. Let's see. 20 seconds. We'll see if it just teleports higher or whatever. But how's the audio today? Sound better? All right, for sure. Yeah, it was. I think it was on my laptop microphone yesterday for some reason. I just love when apps just change your settings and they're just like, yeah, we're just use something you didn't choose. So nothing on that news. That's cool. ES is below VWAP, kind of chopping around. NQ's at VWAP. You do have that SMT at the highs where you see NQ made a higher high on the 1 minute than ES did at that time. So it's potential. There's potential that that holds. I wouldn't bank. Yeah, I wouldn't bank my entire trade idea on that alone, but it's a good indication that might be a high that holds. Still holding that level from back here, the daily low, I guess. I do see the potential for this to be a setup. Not really terribly sold on it. Even if it works, like I don't think it'll work or not work. Like I don't have an opinion, but I just rather not. Like this right here. Just let it do its thing. I'm not really in need to take it. Not to mention the stops, like legitimately 67 points for a trade that I'm like, no, I don't feel great about. I'm gonna do put on one micro, 2 micros. I'd rather avoid it. Just this is not a day that I really want to be forcing or putting on trades that I think are less than A plus. It fits the model. Sure, you have a level, you have a gap, and then you have a logical target with prior day low. However, it's just very choppy back and forth, and the 5 minutes, all right, I guess. 15 has a giant top wick. Yeah, on both ES and NQ. So 15 really kind of tells me to stay away. I'm okay with being cautious here. I don't care if I miss a trade or whatever. It doesn't look great. Yeah, it's just brutal. Look at that chop back and forth. So imagine you buy that gap, and everyone thinks it's a bullish gap because it looks kind of good. It doesn't look bad. But when you consider the 15, it really does look like shit. The 15 really makes it look terrible. And then ultimately, I mean, the hourly is probably going to flip soon if that's the case, right? So you just run that risk. So I'll just sit out. Even if I'm right, even if I'm wrong, I don't care. ES is back into 930. Yeah. Ugly. More news at 10 a.m. Awesome. Red news 10 a.m. ISM services PMI. Day before NFP as well. So we just got a lot of good things up and coming. Why can't I have Trump announced a free iPhone for everybody yesterday or some shit? Like instead he's like, you know what? Fuck that. Here, crush the economy, crush the market. He's just doom posting. He said, you know what? I know you guys want good news, but yeah, everyone gets a top one account. Dude, seriously, that's all we need. Everybody needs an account. Instead, get reciprocal tariffs. that 1 minute on NQ is a perfect example of what I was kind of feeling would happen. Just kind of chop back and forth where you know, these setups, you feel like it'll hold and then it doesn't. And it's just the most annoying thing. It's just kind of grindy. I would not want to be in a trade like this, even if it works. When something goes sideways for like 7, 8 minutes, it's really hard for me to want to stay in it. Because generally speaking, the longer that something kind of doesn't immediately react to a fair value gap, it becomes more challenging to see it. It's better to even just wait for it to react out of the zone, form a higher low, and then take that one because this is just, it's a very, very gross low. I mean, we're talking 20-point kind of whipsaw back and forth. Promising now, but I know for sure I would not want to be in that trade. I would not want to be holding it through all that. All right, 10 minutes, 10 a.m. So yeah, what we're looking at right now is that 15-minute inside bar. It's a one thing because yes, the 1 minute structure, it looks all right, give or take, right? Like it doesn't look terrible, but it's these types of setups, especially when you're inside of a 15, it's kind of annoying just because sometimes just based on the candle closure can really change how the price delivers. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan. You could potentially see the higher highs here, or it could just hold and then this forms another high in this structure and then it runs for the downside. Really hard to say. It's definitely not a trade that I want to take, even if it works. I mean, if it works and goes higher, cool, because then it gives me room to look for setups after 10 a.m., after news. But yeah, as it currently stands, this is just all it does is induce FOMO. Everyone's like, damn, see, I should have taken the trade. I should have taken that pullback. And then when it doesn't work, they get real quiet. And then they flip back and forth, when really they could have just sat there and taken zero trades instead of being down $600. So patience will consistently help you win the game. Yeah, awesome. I'm glad it's better. I'm gonna be upgrading the mic soon too. Anyway, so I just had it on the laptop yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't know why it was on the laptop microphone. Look at that 5 minute. You see that tall wick on the 5 minute? Doesn't look amazing to me. Doesn't look great. So we'll see if this rolls over. You got news in literally 5 minutes. So yeah, that pullback chopped around and then shot up like a couple points. And now it's starting to roll over a little bit. So even if you're in this trade, let's just say you bought right here, or even on this candle, 6, 7, 8 minutes later, it moves up a little, then it's back to break even. Not a trade I'm not a big fan of. See the 5 minute right here. 5 minutes closing slightly better than it did. Like when it was lower, it looked a little worse. ES definitely, the 5 minute looks terrible. Yes. That does not look great. With a setup like this, I'm personally anticipating this as a bull trap. I think ES is kind of leading the way with the weakness. It's gonna look really decent. Like this looks not it doesn't look like a bad long to me. But I do think it's a trap. I personally do think it's gonna trade lower. I think ES is about to break this near term low. We'll see the swing low next to it. But yeah, to me it looks very trappy. This whole thing's look like a trap. Just give it till news. If it does some cool shit after news, then yeah, we'll look for something. But as it currently stands, we saw a gap down where you respected that the new day gap on ES and Q, traded lower, not holding VWAP at the moment. ES made a lower low on the 1 minute. Now NQ is probably next. Yeah, it's kind of cold. It's kind of cold, honestly. In my house, for sure. I mean, at this point, I probably don't need this bigger jacket, but yeah, it's a little bit cold, honestly, in California. It's not like freezing. Yeah, it's 48 right now, which is, I mean, pretty fucking cold for California. New lows on YM? Yeah. I know, it's always in the morning. Yeah, wearing that big ass jacket, for sure. Yeah, California cold. So, yeah, Mike says, YM putting in new lows. That's super important to keep in mind. Boom. Super important. That's probably leading the way. ES is second, and then NQ is likely going to be third. Yeah, Apple's down. Fuck. That's crazy. That is crazy. Apple down 10%. What a day. What a day. Apple is down 10 fucking percent. Crazy. Yeah, we're just getting slaughtered. We're getting slaughtered. The whole market's getting slaughtered. So any sort of weakness, like it's really hard to be like, you know what, let me just buy this immediately. But obviously, if stuff's going to bounce, it's going to be in this area. However, we got high impact news in like 1 minute. Are we bull flagging here or bullshitting? It's hard to tell. Hard to tell at this point because you did have the SMT at the lows technically if it holds, where NQ made that lower low and ES made the lower low, NQ made a higher low. ES 5 minute looks actually pretty crazy. Not gonna lie, that looks pretty insane. If it holds higher, that does not look too bad. But just wait, news right now in 30 seconds. I think the spreads are still a little crazy. Let me check on my other chart. 3 ticks on that. Yeah, I'm seeing like a 5 point spread on NQ. You know, yeah, a little bit of a stab lower. Didn't really do much. It's probably a good day to do nothing. 5 point spread on NQ. That's disgusting. That is very gross. It's holding, but pretty much to the tick. A little bit over. It held the 930 open though so far, so that's good. Yeah, VWAP right there as well. NQ and micro NQ did have an SMT, which is not something I'm like gonna analyze, I guess. But I'm just pointing out where NQ actually did make a lower low. See right there, longer wick, micro NQ. Yeah, I really think I think it's gonna be a smart one to probably not do much today. Look, it just doesn't seem like there's decent liquidity right now. When spreads are off like that, it's not normally a great time to trade. Up to 19 points for a split second. Yep. Spread should be like a quarter. They should be a tick. They should be pretty close. But when it's like very, very, very spready, that means the candles are just going to whip back and forth really aggressively because that's where I guess the orders are, if you will. So hit high, hit low. When the spread's tight, the price kind of stays steady versus it kind of just hopping around a bunch. Yeah, I already know a lot of people are going to blow accounts today. This is not A plus action by any means. We got a read on VIX. What's VIX sitting at? Let's see. Volatility index 26. Got it. Got it. VIX at 26 is like goddamn. Well, that's not great. $27 on VIX. Trying to see how can I get this organized. Yeah, VIX is let's see. I don't know if you can even see that. It's like gapping up. So there's that. We have that early March, late April. Oh yeah, early March high of like 31 or 30 on VIX. So as we start pressing towards that, that's when the market's gonna start really getting crazy. I think it's trading lower. I think it's gonna trade lower. ES is really just leading the way. I think YM's probably selling too. Then NQ is the most resistant so far, but once ES has made new low of day for New York. It's just pushing that pre market low right now. Super dangerous times. This is the shit that obviously there's going to be people who make a killing in markets like this, but I'm telling you, for the majority of people, yeah, you're going to get like shot in the head, honestly, when you're trying to trade this. YM's still bleeding. I like the little comments. Like, I can make the comments pop up on the screen. I wish it was in the recording. I wish I could have that. I don't know why it's not. So yeah, ES is almost at new low of day. So with that being said, start looking at your circuit breaker shit, right? Start looking at the percentage down on the day. See how close we get to that. NQ pushing. Not great. So that's how you avoid losses today. Hope everyone can appreciate that. Just taking a minute, using the logical side of your brain, not the emotional side where you see, oh, it's moving a lot, so let me catch the bounce. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Who cares? Let it move 20,000 points. It makes no difference to me. Price change percentage. No. So ES is testing that fair value gap that it just made. You know, NQ with the fair value gap right here. You have like two scenarios that I can see. One, this is like a sweep of a low. Then you have the inversion, and the second one's just that this is the continuation gap. All right, here. I think continuation's probably more likely. You know, I would think so, but not terribly sold. 15 does look weak. For like that. So there's your rejection a little bit. Then you'd look for the continuation, obviously down to these levels. That's why I drew them out. You got ES about to break pre-market lows. Buckle up, right? So as far as like a trade, that would be the setup I saw, but I don't really need to trade. I'm not trying to do too much into these lows. Just like if the market does get real crazy, I just don't want to have to deal with any sort of headache. Not trying to stress out like, oh no, like just let it work. And truthfully, this is another thing to be aware of. If they're saying, if you trade down towards this price, you start triggering certain market responses. Who the fuck knows what happens? I have not traded in some sort of limit down situation or anywhere near that for a fact. Like anywhere near that type of price action. Yeah. Tempted to short it just to feel something. I mean, it looks like it's probably going to go lower, but I don't want to do anything just because of the fact that if it really is a limit down, that's something that I think most people know about in the market. So I don't know what type of black box shit's out there that will fade it. No audio? How you getting no audio? How about now? Good morning. How you doing, man? Mike, you probably just unplugged your fucking headphones or something. How you doing? What's good? Bro, hit mute. I am excited for my internet upgrade. I'm gonna be able to do. Apparently, they do 5 gig, so I can do 5 gigs of up and down, which is insane. Be streaming to multiple platforms and shit. Probably do that in a couple months, month or two. Very choppy right here. So even if it looks like it's going lower, it's kind of back and forth. Same action we saw just above with that initial gap. So it really is kind of just playing both sides of this range. Something interesting to note. So you have this initial fair value gap that was presented right here. And now we're just playing the underside of it. So you had this right here, pushes, now you're under it. And it's maybe going to push, right? I think this is reasonable if it needs to move lower. ES is making new lows, so I would think it would go in unison. Oh, okay. Nice. Now you can hear. Cool. Yeah. That's weird. Choppy, choppy. Very choppy so far. It's like, yeah, ES is pretty much at low of day, but it doesn't really seem to like move too aggressive. So it is interesting to note. I'll actually pull that up right now just so we can see it on this chart. ES is sitting at low of day, and it's just not like puking yet. You would think, yeah, we're almost at that wick low too. You'd think it would start expanding right here. So it looks like that fair value gap we noted on NQ, it's holding so far. So that trade would be good for now, right? I'd be cautious of NQ shorts if this hits the low and doesn't immediately displace, just as a potential SMT. Not saying it needs to hold, but just keep it in mind for sure. There you go. Reaching. What I want today is just have this get under the low, rip the band-aid off, right? Just sell it, do whatever you need to do, so that way we can get back on track to just some like less soggy price action. It's just been very just weak. That's all that the price action's been. I prefer to be a little more of a range than anything. I don't need to be strong. It's a little bit sideways, not these very like, it'll be very persistently weak, and then it'll bounce real aggressive without any pullbacks, and then it gets back to persistently weak. It's not a fun market. Not a fun market in that regard. Ranges are a little more fun because you get those structured higher lows, lower highs, model 2022s, shit like that. That's real textbook stuff for me, like fucking easy. But, consider yesterday's long, right? It bounced all aggressive. Not really many great entries outside of that one VWAP trade, but the whole opening drive just left open. I don't enjoy that. I prefer structured pullbacks, shit like that. So hopefully we could just sell below this data low and just rip the fucking band-aid off. That's what, yeah, literally. Let's go limit down already. Just get it out the way, man. Just get it out the way. Get out the way. Just make everyone sell at the bottom, panic, and then we can get up roll. I'm ready for up roll. We've already had March Madness. I'm good. I want price to go up. Very weak. So that's what I meant when I said it looked like a top forming. NQ is holding up pretty well though. But yeah, see how it just kind of rounded out. You got that lower high right here. But just not a lot of yeah, you do have that initial fair value gap that got inverted. So that was a good trade. Kind of back and forth though. It's weird. It's a weird morning. You would think it'd be a little more ready to just move lower, but who knows? Looks like a meme coin. Market legitimately looks like a fucking shit coin. Yeah, That's insane. Right here. That's like what the day. That's what the intraday chart looks like. This is fart coin, and there's fucking MES. Same shit. It's so funny though. So many people are like, "See, I told you Trump was going to crash the market," but then they just say that because they don't like Trump. It's not like they understand like why the market's moving or why the market ever moves, right? They're just like, "See, I knew it." Okay, then why didn't you short it? Why didn't you short all of it? All right, watching NQ. NQ's kind of moving back through that opening price, 930 open. Yeah. It's definitely a good day to do less. I mean, yeah, there was maybe a trade right there on ES. So I'm watching NQ to see how that 15-minute forms because we moved higher. We have no bottom wick on that 15. So if that 15 forms a top wick and then rolls, that might be the next leg lower. Am I mainly trading ES nowadays? I mean, not really. It's kind of back and forth. Trading a little bit of both. I think right now, if I want to trade something, I'm probably going to trade ES because ES is just a little more stable. So when the market's like absolutely insane, VIX over 25 towards 30, yeah, I'm gonna probably use a little something a little more steady. But I mean, it's pretty interchangeable for me. I traded mostly ES. I've traded ES for years, and then SPY as well. So NQ is newer for sure. Trade NQ for like a year and a half, I think, maybe close to two. So even with a move like this, yeah, I'm always mindful of these just failed rallies because I mean people see these and then immediately want to get in on this like little pop. But unless there's some sort of clear market structure shift, you're just going to buy a falling knife. Try to catch that. It's not going to work. So yeah, there's that rollover a little bit. It could make new lows easily. Easily. I don't know if it's going to hold here. I don't see any sort of shift. Don't see any displacement. Not a lot of character. It's kind of weak, to say the least. There you go. It's trying to push lower. So that's, again, this is an example of a trade I don't want to be in. I don't want to buy this. I don't want to buy any sort of pop in this area because it's very easy for it to get sold. There's the NQ candle flip on the 15. So you form the top wick, colored back over the 930 open. And now we got to see if this is going to displace right here to the downside. Hourly barcode. It's kind of flopping back and forth for NQ. Yeah, see? Not my favorite trade. I do think it trades lower right now. There's just not a lot to support upside at the moment. All the arrays are being disrespected. Everything's aiming downward. So I'm not eager to buy here. If anything, you could short in some of these setups. I think that's all we've been pointing out today. Point out the failed long, why I didn't really like it. Point out area where you could short. holding still, but I'm more focused on just kind of observing price, see how we're trading at these levels, and then I'll come up with a plan for tomorrow. If anything, I'd much rather prefer to trade post NFP. Every prop firm's sending emails about volatility, all this shit. Volatility does not change our payout rules. That's cool. I love when emails are just written like that. Like someone's gonna read that and be like, "Yeah, I need to jump in this." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's wait for the NFP discounts. It's just chill for now, right? You don't have to trade every single setup you see. You can let a couple setups pass. In fact, if you want a higher win rate, being pretty selective or picky with your trades, that's how you do it. I could have taken two. I think there was two trades I saw today, maybe three. I'll point them out where I could have entered the trade and taken some partial profit or whatever based on how I manage it. But I mean, I don't really feel like it. I don't really feel like forcing it. So I saw, let's see, where's my marker? I saw a setup right here. Taking this, I could have probably trailed right there or at least break even. Right here, I probably would not have touched this. This again, you'll probably trail up here or break even. And then this one we called out. And you could probably target down here, which is fine. Maybe get break even, or maybe you're still holding. So definitely a couple setups you could have taken. It's not like unknown to me. I see them. It's very clear, very, very clear. But I just don't want to engage it. I don't think they're high probability by any means. But you'll get one thing that people do a lot. They'll be like, "Oh, like you have to take a trade." They always try to like, if you don't take a trade, people will find a way to be like, "You need to." Like it's just the weirdest thing. I've never had a setup where I'm like, everyone else needs to take the same trade as me, or else who the fuck cares? I'll take trades you won't, and then you'll take trades I won't. Like you'll see stuff different than I do, and that's how trading works. If everybody took the same trades, there would be no market. But people don't get that. I remember seeing a tweet. Someone said, "I made money this week. I have no idea how everybody didn't make money." Like you have no idea? How do you have no idea how nobody took the same trades as you? Like how the fuck did you get paid? Someone lost in those trades. It should be pretty clear how not everyone took the same trades. Everyone looks at the market different. It's like that's like the most basic principle of the market. I have no idea how everybody didn't make money. Then you're fucking stupid because people have to lose money for you to make money in trading. Zero sum game. Man, this thing really is just taking forever to break through those lows. So we'll keep watching. If there's some sort of crazy market structure shift to the upside, then sure, we'll dabble. But I just want this to kind of drift through the lows. Ideally, just push the limit down. Let's just get out of the way. All right, let's see if we can get a push through the lows. Ideally, right? I think it is important to note that ES is really kind of pinned. Like it's, I don't know, 5 minutes at the same point. So it either starts displacing or you're going to see a reaction back into the range. If you can see it going either way, then don't trade it. Yep. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's probably the best thing you can do with the market. If you can kind of see both sides, avoid it for sure. It's crazy because the market feels like it's moving in slow motion, but the ranges are big. Like these are massive ranges. It just feels very slow today. There you go, starting to get a little bit of displacement. So we'll see if we get like a model 2022 right here or something, or like a breaker. Maybe a breaker would be good. Back to VWAP. Kind of crazy. This is the VWAP at 32s. Each of this high. I think we might try this pretty soon. We're reacting to this low over here. So the breaker would be this right here. I kind of want to wait for the higher low. But essentially this 10-point stop. Probably just try it.
Order filled.
I don't think I'm going to hold for that. I'm just kind of like placing it out. I'll do like this. This can easily just reject here. I need to hold this as a fair value gap. But $100, whatever, just get something on the books. I do think this has potential to work. So I'm taking it, obviously. I like the fact that it's hesitated to get to the lows. Like it's just not moving low super quick. So if it is going to bounce, I do think this is a good area for it to bounce, but I'm not willing to risk like a ton on this trade. It's more of just a feeler. See a little fair value gap right here. It'll either hold or just kind of run through it quick. I can maybe give it to like right here, but I don't really need to give it too much more. So let's see how it looks. Fair value gap. Okay, that's a fair value gap right there. Let's see. If this holds, then we'll add to the position. That's what I'm doing right there. It's kind of frozen. Charts are frozen. 93. It's working. The chart's just frozen. Fuck.
Order filled.
There you go. Stop right here. Nah, it's not going to work. A little fake out or something. We'll see. I am tempted to kind of ditch the trade because of that wick. But whatever. Give it like 5 more seconds and kind of see. Yeah, not a fan of that wick. So the 30-second looks like. It could still work. I mean, I could give it a little more room. I don't want to give it more room, though, so I'm just going to let it stop me. If it stops me, flying blind 100%. Let's see. Just need to work immediately. Let's put in a little higher low right here, so this could hold. Location's good, so it just needs to work. Just needs to work. Trying to aim for like a 2R. So let's see, 618 or something. Let's see, what's the 930 open price? I'm gonna target 930 open. All right, so this will either fail right here or start pushing. Let's see it either way. Actually, kind of game bored, honestly. So at this point, trail it a little bit, maybe, right? Yeah, that potential. Probably do it under $300 if I lose, because I want this to displace through this point right here. And if it goes through here, like it should just run really fucking quick. And if not, it's just going to stall out. So I do not like the hesitation it has. So it's a 1 minute look like. Yeah, 1 minute. We got 15 seconds to the candle closure. Just come on, just run it. So that's all it needs to do is run quick. It's just joking with me. It's messing around. Realistically, it should have moved by now, so I'm okay if it takes a partial stop. It just needs to fucking go. This isn't NQ. It doesn't need to dig deep. It just can do a little shallow retracement and then it can rip. 5 minute. Yeah, let's just see it. Come on, just rip. Let's go, guys. Let's go. All I'm doing is back to the 930 open, mean reversion trade, reversal, right? In a weak market. It's a great idea. Probably not, but the location made sense to me. The level made sense. The triggers making sense. The follow through is just not there yet. So the more it hesitates, the more likely I am to just want to just jump ship. But, we just chill. We ride. We ride. I gotta get like one contract off in profit. See 5,500. Probably trail this a little bit. So we get one off here. That would be the idea. If it can move through 5,500, that's like a psychological level, of course. So I want to take one off at a psychological level. I'm gonna put this literally in profit. I'm over it. It shouldn't hesitate so much at the highs like this. It should just kind of push a little bit and then go. So if it doesn't want to work immediately, I'm kind of not feeling the trade. So that's okay. Because it shouldn't reject a swing high like this and then not go. It should break out of that range really quick. Otherwise, you have the potential to form
Order
a 5
filled.
minute swing high right here. So I don't want this to trade back into the range because then you get a swing point formation. So that's just being responsible with the trade management. Can it still work? Sure. But look at the 5 minute. That's what I'm being mindful of. I don't want to be stuck in a candle flip and then it trades all the way back down to my stop because we're trading counter trend. So a little bit of a mouthful there, but that's kind of the process. Yeah, can this still work? Sure. You got a minute left in the candle, so it could still close high. That could be a retest, but I'm not liking the probability. As soon as it did not confirm strength above that swing high, and that's I think the cherry on top right there. This chart right here. As soon as it fails, right here. As soon as it fails to close above that high with strength, run, ditch it. Because then you're looking at all of this up move right here as a potential change in state to then run lower. So that's a possibility. Definitely easy day to avoid. We tried it. It's not like we tried it small either. We tried it. We had 6 micros, so almost half a mini, or almost, a little over half a mini with ES. So yeah, it was worth the shot. I like the idea. I really did like the structure. I did like how it was setting up. It was very reminiscent of, I think yesterday we took a break, or maybe the day before. Maybe the day before. So definitely worth a shot, but this wasn't like a one contract thing. We were trying to make $600, $500. So Oh well, break even. I'm gonna probably be happy with that. I'm gonna watch it a little bit more, but see how that 5 minute closed? Do you think we made the right decision? Yeah, it's this would have stopped me at the partial stop I had. So I was down here, then I trailed it here once it started moving, and as soon as it started to break, this next candle needed to expand like 5 points higher, and it just did not. So very happy with that decision right there. Yeah, name of the game is 100% risk management. 100%. You got to be in tune with what price is doing, not what you want it to do. Obviously, I want it to go higher, but if I'm only looking, I had someone tell me, they say, you got to avoid looking for things that confirm your bias. You have to be looking for things. And if they happen to confirm your bias, that's great. And if they dismiss your bias or counter your bias, then that's information you need to use. But if you're only looking for evidence that your trade is going to work, good luck. I think you guys heard this whole trade. I was ready to be done with it because look how choppy it was. I mean, this is a 30-second chart, of course, but that's like 5-6 minutes or something of just kind of meh action. You want it to be quick. Want it to be quick. So yeah. Thank you. It's pretty much all you can do is manage it well, because then you could either, like Isaac said on Austin's podcast, you can either have a big green day, small green day, or small red day. Small green day is fine. I'm okay with $20. $20 gets me like 1/3 of a meal at Chick-fil-A. A couple years ago, it might have been a whole meal. So $20 is cool. But yeah, any questions for anybody today? What you guys get into? Let me hear a little bit about your trades. Anyone take anything? You probably could have taken some of those shorts. I mean, they look decent when I was kind of pointing them out, but it's not really my trade. I don't like shorting into the lows like this. It's kind of pre NFP action, pretty typical. Open long, yeah, nice. Caught the short, and then opening long. Opening long is nice. I mean, I like opening drives. I haven't really been trading them lately. Ah, gotcha. I mean, it's pretty similar to I think we both took a similar trade like this on, I think it was Tuesday. So it's a good shot. It's worth it for sure. But yeah, those failure swings where it sweeps the high and then just drops, those are the bane of my existence for sure. I've done so much back testing, and this is like the most consistent. I mean, it's actually a great short entry, to be honest, but good luck flipping from long to short that quick. So yeah, this thing will probably trade new lows at some point, but I think we're good here. I think I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon. Let you guys get on your way. Keep it short and sweet. I don't want to ever just drag on stream for no reason. It's no point. Everyone's got shit to do. Try one long and one short, both lost. Daily stop. Too tight stop on the short. Damn, that's tough. Too tight on the short stop. Yeah. I think position sizing in this market is kind of difficult because you don't want to have too much size, but carved out a decent bag on NQ, nothing A plus though. Yeah, I feel you. Sometimes you can get away with that, like you can kind of just scalp at it, chip away at the day. Um, it works. I'm not going to say I've never traded anything like that. I think it's maybe a little bit harder when I'm trying to like explain trades if I'm like just stabbing at shit, because then people are like, wait, why are you taking that trade? But if you made some money today, fucking, that's good, solid. But yeah, good work, everybody. Whether you made money or lost money, you can always learn something from just reviewing what you did. There's no reason to force trades, though. That's for sure. There will be better conditions either tomorrow, the day after that, Monday, whatever. So, yeah, take it easy, guys. We'll wrap up here, get this uploaded. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Alrighty, take care. Later.